Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video we have a small Retribution Paladin buff, and we had a lot of trinket tuning, I would say. So we'll hit on both these things pretty quickly here. So for Retribution Paladin, we had final verdict damage increased by 20%. This is going to be like a 4 or 5% single target buff, so for pure single target. In your Mythic Plus dungeons or whatever, it's going to be a buff on the bosses, of course. So it's going to slightly increase your like Mythic Plus damage. And of course, like if you're a Delve player, a casual player, you know, anytime you're doing single target, it is a buff to you. There is no downside to this. It's not a huge buff, but it is a buff. Now we are struggling in raid, so single target primarily is going to be focused on in raid, and we are struggling a bit in raid with our damage. This isn't because we're bad or anything like that. It's because a lot of the profiles needed for certain things, I actually expect it, you know, with little buffs like this, plus as the raid is out longer, I expect Ret to actually do better, because right now there's a lot of like really quick switchy target things going on in the raid right now, and everyone has to do them because people's eye level isn't enough to where it dies instantly. I think once Ret can kind of just, you know, and some Ret Paladins are already doing this, once you can kind of just stay on target and not have to like switch or not have to hold your cooldown for 10 seconds, I think that will improve naturally. But obviously little buffs like this are going to help along the way as well. So yeah, I've been really not loving the layout of the boss fights for Ret Paladin specifically, whereas for other classes and specs are actually pretty fun and pretty good. A lot of them are not the best for Ret Paladins, which is fine. There are a couple that are fine for Ret though. Like I can't even say his name. Lockenstock maybe is the name of the boss. Sprocketmonger Lockenstock. He's pretty good for Ret Paladin's playstyle, but so a lot of them are not, unfortunately, which is why you end up seeing the Ret Paladin get benched in the race to roll first and all that kind of stuff. So that's where we are. Final verdict, a little bit talk about raid damage and stuff like that. We'll talk quickly about the trinkets here, because basically every trinket that does damage when you use it got buffed. Now this isn't huge because you know, whatever, like these trinkets were kind of bad, right? Most of these are kind of bad. Some of them seemed decent enough that I suggested maybe using it in a pinch. So those ones, you know, could be even better now. This Candle Confidant, I don't know, but in season 1, this was actually pretty strong, especially if you're a Delve player. But regardless, if you don't have any good trinkets yet, this is from Delves, I believe, the Candle Confidant. This got buffed, and it was really strong in season 1. I don't know if it's strong now, but when I see this got buffed by a decent amount, I think to myself, well, maybe this is pretty good now. So especially if you're a Delve player, maybe the Candle Confidant going on. There's some other ones I wanted to hit on specifically, and like I said, it's basically every single trinket that does damage when you press it. So it doesn't give you stats, it does damage itself. Got buffed. Let's see another one. There's two main ones to talk about. So like this Lockenstock, Mr. Lockenstock. So this is actually was a decent trinket even before this buff. So I imagine this trinket kind of like paves its way forward, especially as if you're a raiding player, right? Maybe Mr. Lockenstock and you don't do that much Mythic Plus anyways. Maybe Mr. Lockenstock kind of like, you want like a House of Cards and a Mr. Lockenstock, and eventually you want an Aya Kazan or whatever for longer boss fights. But Mr. Lockenstock getting this buff, it seems to be pretty notable to me. I haven't even simmed it yet, just looking at these changes. But this trinket was already pretty decent, especially for single target. Not the AoE mode, I could live without, but the single target was pretty good already. And then we had another one with it's from Dark Flame Cleft. Let's see if I can find it here. The Remnant of Darkness. So this one also simmed pretty well already, especially for Mythic Plus. It simmed okay in there, and this has got buffed as well. So I imagine this one will also be kind of you know, more prestigious or whatever. Maybe surpassing something like what I have on the Mechanicore Amplifier, which is, you know, like a Delve trinket or whatever, or Outdoor World trinket. That's like one of the best trinkets for Ret right now. So we'll have maybe something like that surpasses this now. I'll have to sim. I actually have one, so I could just easily, I believe I have one of these somewhere in here. Yeah, Remnant of Darkness hero. So I could actually sim them against each other and see very easily which one's better after the fix there or after the update, whatever. So yeah, just wanted to go over those things really quick. Small rep buff, small trinket buffs, but it could make stuff you already have more viable, or it could give you a better option than what you currently have. Maybe eventually you phase out the delve type trinkets and stuff like that. Although the mechanical amplifier is just pretty good, so we'll see there. But just want to give a quick little update on that news. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel. That helps me out a lot. If you're already a subscriber, you could check out the Patreon. And other than that, everybody, have a good one.